and elite women's fields. And that's Shira from Tanzania as well, so Tanzanian athlete, so strong. Next to her, the Ethiopian winner recently in Dubai, Herper, is one to look out for, winning in January, so it's going to be powers of recovery. And there's Judith Jeptum, the Kenyan athlete, course record holder, silver medalist in the World Championships from Eugene in 2022. Angela Tanui, 6th in those World Championships also in 2022. She's finished 4th in Tokyo previously. And an athlete that is making her return to the marathon 5 years after last going the full distance. A 3-time Olympic champion, 5 times world champion. Tiraness Dababa is such a decorated athlete, winner of Chicago in 2017. And to look out for some of the elite men, Johan Duran, a 4th place finisher in the European Championships over 5,000 meters in 2012. He finished 15th here in his personal best, 2:09 in 2021. Tazat Alana next to him, 4th in Boston in 2021. He'll be looking for a return to form today, wearing number 6. Bernard Biwott, surprise winner of the Frankfurt Marathon last year, 2:06 lifetime best. He's on the list of people to look out for today. Hassan Shadi knows these streets very well, had a fantastic 2024, 5th in the London Marathon in his lifetime best. That qualified him for the Olympic Games, where he took 20 place and 7th in the World Championships in 2023 in Budapest. And there's the course record holder, Elijah Rotic, 3rd here 12 months ago as well, so very consistent athlete on the streets of Paris. So 55,000 runners. The popularity of this event, sold out again, taking to these wonderful and historic streets. So eyes on the elite fields with the course record holders there announced at the start. Elijah Rotic and Judith Jeptum to face probably what is one of the strongest elite fields assembled in Paris. So my name's James C. I'm delighted to take you through all of the action this morning. What is going to be a very, very competitive Schneider Electric Paris Marathon 2025. So wherever you're joining us from around the world, around Europe, so if you've got any runners that you know running, the tracking app is very efficient for finding your runners, seeing where they are out on the course, what their projected times are. And the projected times up front, we're looking for the elite men to be around about 2:58 per kilometre, and the elite women to be around about 3 minutes 20 seconds. And it's going to be very much down to the pacers in these early stages. That's in all big city marathons. The pacemakers that go to the front of the elite fields, so important in setting a controlled pace. Look out for Ezra Chalimo, Peter Kipsarat, Zachariah Kiprot, as well as I think Mathieu Brulette, the French national champion over 10 kilometres in 2019, was another one of the athletes enlisted for the early paces. And there he is, wearing number 27, is Brulette. There could be some groups forming behind as well. There's obviously a lot of talented French athletes, whoever Brulette has been entrusted with the French athletes behind, but there's our paces at the front. We're in 30. That's Chilimo, very much from a cross-country background himself. Kiprop next to him. 61.19 for half marathon last year. That's normal progression for a pacemaker to run over the half marathon distance, and expecting of around about 25-30 kilometers max for these pacers. Kipsarat on the right in that sky blue or white ASICS vest there. He's run 45 minutes for 10 miles, so the early through miles for him should be fairly controlled, as the weather that greeted the runners today, cool conditions, around about 10 degrees, a slight breeze, but that seemed to be dying down. Yesterday was a very wet day in Paris, and expecting maybe a little bit of light rain today, which the elites and the masses won't mind at all, and especially the masses. And as they race organisers, I'm sure will be delighted that it is cool conditions for the 55,000 runners. Last year setting world record figures for those that go across a marathon finish line in the world. And as I said earlier, only Berlin and then New York in November edged past those record figures. So that makes Paris one of the largest marathons in the world. And there's the iconic Eiffel Tower in the background as they go round Place de la Concorde, where sadly Marie Antoinette met her fate, and many royals did during the French Revolution. So Public Square completed in 1772. I'm sure their history won't be lost on the athletes, but they will be focused and very much about making their own history today. And the anticipation of the build-up for any marathon runner, whether they're the elites or the masses, is very much about getting on that start line fit, healthy and ready to go. And there's our elite women's field pacers. Suresha Shala, Agli Antlan and Bahin Hagos. And the Tanzanian in there, Magdalena Shiru. And there's Place Vendôme, the column that sits in this wonderful square. The architecture, collection of fine fashion and jewelry shops in this beautifully set out landmark in Paris. And today it's a landmark en route for the runners as they've gone through around about 5 minutes of running. So they're over the first mile, coming towards the second kilometre of running already here on the streets, and the wheelchair athletes are heading towards not far from 3 miles and 5 kilometres. Some great aerial shots already from our team. And there's on cue is the 2 kilometre mark, and reaching 6 minutes. So maybe just a few seconds down on course record pace, but it is still very early stages. And there, as we pan out, and we can see that lead group has split back, and there's the elite men that are entrusted to pace these elite women. And they have to be very high quality elite men to make sure that they do tend to, in the elite women, go most of the distance. Ruto on the screen in front of us there. Opera Garnier. So 1,979 seats, completed in 1861. Even if you're not going to the opera, if you get a chance just to have a look inside, it is absolutely stunning. And there is history and amazing architecture almost everywhere you look. Wonderful attention to detail. And again, so much on offer here to marathon tourists. If you are obviously thinking about your next international marathon, then, well, Paris has to be high on your list, but it does sell out every year, so you've got to be fast on the button. As in, we seem to be in a marathon boom right now. It's great. And one of my all-time favourite cyclists as well. Cav, as affectionately as he's known, as retired now finally. I wonder how he's finding retirement and whether he's scouting out the Paris Marathon. I'd love to see Cav take on the marathon. Slightly different to his sprinting up and down the Champs-Élysées for his Varian cycling team. There's Palais Royal. And again, a wonderful place to stroll through with the family. And we were over for much of the summer last year. So very, very popular with tourists and families. A great place to go and have a bit of a picnic as well. And this lead group also has Francisco Salamenti in there, another French athlete, as well as Thibaut Durat. So, trying to do my counting, I think it is 4 clear. Schipper, Casoli, Casamente and Durat are the leading 4 athletes. So 3 French athletes in this lead wheelchair group, and maybe just going off the back of that, Salamente in the yellow. And they're just desperately trying to push to get that force down to make his way back to that lead group. Alongside Mark Cavendish was Jean Lemano, the chief exec of the Paris Sport Organisation as well. And the Louvre, the glass pyramid. Again, the things to do in Paris. You can see the Mona Lisa, as well as so many other amazing bits of art that hang just almost every single wall here in Paris.
Et de s'effouler, et ça fait une équipe. En fermant les yeux et en voyant la concrétisation du marathon, je vois un voyage de vie depuis des mois. Et je vois surtout toutes les difficultés par lesquelles on est passé, mais qui nous a fait grandir. Et je vois surtout ma main tendue quand Louise elle va se lever sur les 30 derniers mètres. Et je crois que ça a pas de prix. Oui, ça a de prix.
Another wonderful story of the Schneider Electric Paris Marathon. And it is really a weekend of inclusivity. Remember, that was those taking part in yesterday's Paris Run for All. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we had the generational Martins, the marathons yesterday, the youngsters along the course of the River Seine. And there is Enoch Kinyamo, the Eindhoven Marathon, where he set his lifetime best last year, and also He was fourth in Copenhagen, 2:10 after that win in Eindhoven. So wearing 25, dropping off that group. That's Dennis Kitario. So making his debut today. So the debutant, 60:47 half marathon best. And he's also run 27:17 on the streets of Prague. So making his marathon debut and having to settle down now as the pace is kicked on up front. Edwin Kibitri just in front of him. So he was 10th here last year, 2:10. And he's in the top 10 this year, heading towards the 32-kilometre mark, but not in contention for the lead spots. And the vehicle's doing a great job of just going through this field and seeing who's been dropped off this group. This is Halu. Zeldu there, wearing number 8. So 2:08 lifetime best set in Toronto when fourth place last year. Back to the elite women. And it is the Tanzanian athlete who's very well decorated. Women 2:06, Shura. So third in Berlin in 2023. The whole host of very strong half marathon performances as well. 66 minutes lifetime best as they head down for one of the drop downs to the tunnels. This will sap a little bit of strength from some of the legs as well. The pacemaker doing their job. Now Biwott on the front of the elite men's race. Bernard Biwott, the Frankfurt champion. You can see there is pain now on people's faces. Ibrahim Hassan, the Djibouti athlete, on his left. And now maybe down to 3. Is the other athlete there. So maybe just down to 3 now. Biwott wearing 14. Ail is the athlete in orange, maybe just starting to drop off this group of 2. There is fatigue as they're inside the last 10 kilometers. Hassan and Biwott. Biwott was some people's outside favourite after having won in Frankfurt. Hassan is the athlete in that grey and yellow, who is again a very, very good athlete in his own right. 2:06, second place in Abu Dhabi last year, and winner in out in China in the Baku Marathon 2:06 as well. So he's been consistent. And sat now in the slipstream of Biwott, and now the gaps behind are growing. There is a gap now maybe growing between the leader, Bernard Biwott. He's the athlete in red. Check of the watch, and maybe a resigned look then from over there that he can't keep that going. And there is the Eiffel Tower, and it's wonderful glory. The Olympic rings are no longer showing on the front. They wore them so proudly last summer. And again, what a fantastic and what a wonderful Olympic Games that the Paris organisers and the city of Paris brought us. So there is the tower that stands 330 metres tall. You'll get the best view of Paris from the multiple of viewing points. Gustave Eiffel, the 1889 completed structure. It's iconic. There's a few buildings in the world where when you see it, it You know where you are, you know what city you're in. As the elite men now head towards 1 hour and 40 minutes of running. Biwott now looks like a boxer in the latter stages of a heavyweight fight, where he is now head down, power to the floor. And even though the pace hasn't been or wasn't that quick in the early stages, he is the one though who's been trying to pick that pace up. So Tezrat Alana there back in I think 6th place, wearing number 6, 4th in Boston, 5th in Hamburg previously, 2:06 lifetime best, but he's having to give way. And so is Enoch Kinyamal there, wearing 7 in the orange, just off the back of that group as well. It is all change in this elite men's race. So 30 kilometers was reached, remember, in 1 hour 29:32. So what has been this last 5 kilometers? What has been the pickup? Has it been a pickup, or has it been the fatigue in the others? And almost the way that Biwott goes round that corner, check of the watch. Looks like there's been a pickup of the pace. The arms are pumping, and that look of concentration on his face. He doesn't dare look behind to see what the gap is back to Ibrahim Hassan. And there, the 23-year-old, he's someone that is very much on the rise in marathon running, winning in his debut. Said those half marathon performances did indicate that a good marathon was possible. But I tell you what, Biwott is pushing on the pace. And there's the gap back. Enoch Kimawa there, always very well prepared, Ineos crew. But he's back in 6th place. And that group, in that group, 14, 15 and 12 are battling whether they can get back in contention from that lead group. So that is Euler wearing 15, Kiptu, who's been on the podium at various marathons. 3rd in Rome last year, 2:08, and he's been on the podium in Madrid in 2023 and Geneva in 2022. So Kiptu, Salah Kiptu, still with a chance of a podium today. Dominic Nango, another athlete with podium potentials there. 2nd in Toronto last year, where he set his lifetime best of 2:07.23. 3rd in Eindhoven in 2023. So these athletes know how to be on podiums. That's their experience. But this athlete's only done 1 marathon and been on the podium, top spot once. So this is the elite women's race. Shura there on the left hand of the screen. You can see one of those undulations of coming out of the tunnels. Almost like a little climb, and the crowd recognise that. And I think Dida maybe is the other athlete. And is that Tanui? There's Dida. And that is Tanui. Yes, that's Tanui. And behind her, Haupa there, wearing the headband. So the 1st and 2nd from Dubai Marathon, Dida and Haupa there are in good company. Angela Tanui. So 6th in those World Championships in 2022. But I don't see the course record holder, the former World Champion silver medalist, Judith Jepton. I think Jepton has dropped off this group. So they've gone through 30 kilometers now. So we're getting an update of that time. So 30 kilometers was 1:39.20. So it looks like a drop-off of pace. A slight drop-off, but still projected time is inside course record pace. On the screen in front of us, it's going up as 2:19.43 is the projection. So that's split 30 kilometers, 1:39.20, remember. So just 9 seconds faster than Mesret, because winning split last year, but much slower than Jeptum had when she broke the record, but it's a much quicker first half. So down now, that lead group, I think it's down to 4 now. It is Shirai, Dida, Herupa and Tanui, and then a gap back to, it looks like Kinsang Alama, who's 12 seconds back. Biwa, the world record, remember, from the late great Kelvin Kipton, 2 hours and 35 seconds, set in Chicago. And what a tragedy, losing Kipton and his phenomenal coach. And well, we expected Kipton would have been the first man inside 2 hours in a major city marathon. Kipchoge's done it in Vienna with the 1:59 project, but who is going to be the first to do it? Will it be Kalimo in London after that phenomenal world half marathon record of 56 minutes and 42 seconds? But it's about the streets of Paris today. Jardin des Cerelles, Teatral, the another wonderful set of gardens here. You spend a day just going to the various gardens that are on offer in Paris. And again, just the different sports facilities I said earlier. And there's Roland Garros. That's the French Open. It's always very, very competitive, and playing on the regular clay ground. It's many champions of grace. Now on to some of the testing part of the course here. The runners have navigated as they go towards the Bourse de Boulogne, and then it'll be the elegant neighbourhoods of Western Paris before heading back towards us here at the Arc de Triomphe and Avenue Foch to welcome home our elite men's champion. We've seen Julien Cassoli take the wheelchair title as the next drink station. You can see the water stations out on course every 5 kilometres, as well as the elite drink stations. Tanui on the back of that group. You can see with the red singlet and the necklace on, I think back to front, maybe just starting to drop off this group. So the elite organisers know the men's race. They're out of contention for course record pace, but they can see the elite women are operating at that 3 minutes 20 per kilometres. And there's Sarasa Shala. He's a 2:13 marathon runner himself and a 65-minute half marathon runner. So that's why he's ambling along at the front, and he probably will do for most of the race. Dida there in second place. Foundation Louis Vuitton. And again, great demonstration of this new and old that we have in Paris. And I'd love to see the different designs and the level of detail that people have to go in to get their permission for architecture to be built, because it must be of such a high level and it must be of such a level of creativity that you just won't get a normal building through. And just almost a nod of the head, left to right. That is the marathon there. That is the pain of the marathon. And this is the chaser. This is Ibrahim Hassan. He's not given up yet. And he's also got some very, very good runners chasing him as well. So expecting the 40-kilometer mark, almost exactly on 2 hours. So running around about 2:06 pace at the front of the elite men's race, and running at 2:19 course record pace at the front of the elite women's race. Shirai looking down at the ground. Dida and Herpe are shoulder to shoulder as they were. And there's the world record. Ruth Chepnyaidich is also from Chicago. 2:09. I mean, that is something very, very special. And whether that can be challenged at all over the next few races that we have coming up in springtime, or whether that record is going to last a few years to come. Bedone and Chill. So the horse racing location in Paris. And again, just confirmation of the weather here, if you're wondering. So it's been pretty cool conditions. It was raining yesterday, and slight difference to the UK that's had a bit of sunshine recently. We've had that yellow thing in the sky that we don't see too often. But a cloudy, overcast day in Paris. So the rain that was threatening hasn't materialized yet. Light breeze. So for the masses out there, the 55,000 runners, last year it was a world record number of finishes. Only Berlin and then New York edged past it. And I have to admit that I was one of those New York Marathon finishers back in November. But that is testament to Paris. So to have held that world record and to have had the most number of finishes, the organisation that has to go into any major city marathon, but to have over 55,000 starters and almost that number of finishes, testament to the organising committee. As it's concentration time now, coming towards almost the last 5-kilometer mark. So the training that will go in to these runners' legs up in around the 200 kilometers per week. It's about 140 miles of different types of training, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. Long runs, and for these marathon runners, some of them will run marathon distance in training. As I said earlier, many of them won't. The 22 to 24 mile mark might be enough. And there's the 38-kilometer mark. So they're getting towards a part of the race where there's the unknown factor, where they haven't been here before, other than their last marathon. And now the chase is on. Kiptu is the athlete trying to chase, trying to close down. And is also the thing with the marathon, anything can happen as they head through the Does the Boulogne, wonderful green space. Again, back to the elite women. Harper there with the headband, almost a smile there. And her teammate, whose facial expressions have not changed. Dida looks very good, and the tall striding Shiru next to her. Who looks at the ground, and Tanui, who looked like she was just struggling for the last 2 kilometers at the back of that group. And the Kenyan athlete maybe is the athlete the first of this quartet to just feel the pain. And she's the fastest of this group, 2:17.57. That was 8 years ago when she won in Amsterdam. Such an experienced runner. Top 10 in the World Championships in 22, in Tokyo, in Boston. She's been on the podium in Daegu, Beijing. And that Beijing finish was just back in November. So, if anyone has experience to weather out a tough part of the marathon, it's Angela Tanui. But in terms of form right now, Harupa and Dida, first and second in Dubai, just on the 12th of January, 2:18. So when looking at the form books, the start list, that earmarked them as definitely being hugely competitive and potentially dangerous athletes. But my unknown was the recovery. But I tell you what, super shoes and changes in technology, in recovery products that have allowed runners to refuel much better and allow runners to recover much faster. So it does mean now that we're seeing runners that are coming back to back. So here's Bernard Biwott. I'm sure after this hard effort, he put his feet up for a few months. Won't think we'll see him running a marathon in a few months' time. But I tell you what, at the age of 23, if he does pull this off, he's going to be hot property. Now we're in 15. Silla Kiptu. He's trying to close this down. Podium in Rome last year, 3rd place. That's where he did set his personal best. He said he's finished 2nd in Madrid, 2nd in Geneva. And I tell you what, he is locked in on Ibrahim Hassan. So that's the top 3 at the moment. It's Biwott, Hassan, and Kiptu. And there you go. You can see the big, bold numbers on the drink stations. But you can see the 4 drinks. They will have given them to the organisers last night. They would have put their own mixture in, different types of carbohydrates, different types of mixtures within them. Some will have gels attached. Maybe not at this late stage, given that they're only less than 2 miles away from the finish. The next split we're going to get is going to be the 40-kilometre mark. And that slight nod to the head, almost a slight shake of the head, distraction of the pain, because it is painful out there. There's no doubt in that. Wearing number 4, Biwott is a very talented athlete. Getting some great cheers, the allays from course side for Biwott. Hassan, is there anything left? Is there any way of closing that gap? So Biwott, the leader. Back to the elite women's race. And Shire with Dida and Harper there, the 3 now, pulled clear, I think, of Angela Tanui. And maybe that's the first sign, and maybe holding the side, it is. I think that's a stitch. Bella 2, Harper there, looked really good with a headband, and then just a little look to the side. And that is what can happen in the marathon. Can go from looking and feeling fantastic to any second disaster happening. Now, Biwot's gone through 1:58.56 through 40 kilometers. And a 14:53 last 5 kilometers. So nothing spectacular pace-wise. He's basically just maintained the pace over that last 5 kilometers. Actually, the split between 30 and 35 kilometers that did the damage. So that was a 14:31. So around about 29:20 for the last 10 kilometers, and that's why there is a gap now. And going down now, looking for that projected time. It's around about 6 minutes of running from here. So projected time around about 2:05. So he's poured on the speed, and 2:05.13 projected time. And you can hear the breathing now. Hyopa, has she weathered the storm of her own body, the stitch? And now there's a gap. Oh, this I didn't see happening. Shirai looked really good. Magdalena Shirai there of Tanzania has dropped off. She was right there about, well, 500 meters to go. And Tanui now has gone into 3rd place. And it's the Ethiopian 1-2. Dida Hyopa are the leaders now. 1-2 in Dubai in January, and now 1-2 on the streets of Paris. And just for confirmation, the crowd or one of the organisers just giving a shout to Bernard Biwot, just telling him, you're number 1, you're in 1st position. He's through 41 kilometres, so he knows he's just got over 3 minutes of running. The course record, Elijah Rotic, that's safe for another year. So going back to 2021, Rotic's record will not be broken. The gap back, 37 seconds to Ibrahim Hassan. That is, I don't think, going to change now. Bernard Biwot. Getting some bravos, and he absolutely deserves it. Hassan back in 2nd place. Sila Kiptu was chasing Hassan. On the last time check, it was 10 seconds between Kiptu and Hassan for 3rd and 2nd place. And Nego was another 12 seconds back, with Kinamel also similar distance back in 5th place for the NM runner. So the expected 250,000 fans on the course, spectating, cheering. They've gone through 40 different music points out on the course, through the ASICS fan zone as well, through the last few kilometers as well. But now with around about 30 to 40 seconds, he'll be looking for the Arc de Triomphe, and then making the turn onto Avenue Foch, and then down towards us here in the commentary box to take the tape. 2:04 on the race clock. Just confirmation that course record has ticked away. But I think he's into the last 500 meters. Came in with a lifetime best of 2:05.54. And the light show can start. The cheers can continue as Hassan can only look in the distance and see the leader, Bernard Biwott, make the final turn here. And a sprint finish, love this. Giving it absolutely everything. Every second counts towards his personal best. The Paris champion here at the Schneider Electric Paris Marathon 2025, Bernard Biwott in a new lifetime best, 2:05.24, taking 30 seconds off his lifetime best. And now the battle for the podium positions. Ibrahim Hassan for Djibouti taking the final turn. He's going to be, I think, inside his lifetime best as well. That's 2:06.33. He's going to be just outside 2:06 himself. It's going to be a lifetime best as well for Salah Kiptoo to round off the podium. So Hassan takes second place. Salah Kiptoo is going to complete the podium. Enoch Kimala's come through for fourth place, strong finish there. I think he just got past Dominic Nuego there, who's going to take fifth place. Some big performances, and that's a lifetime best as well for Dominic Nuego. Came in with a 2:07.23, and you can see them lying on the mat there for the Schneider Electric Paris Marathon champion for 2025. Take a bow, Bernard Biwott of Kenya. Hang that picture in the Louvre. And let it be admired for a number of years. Wonderful close, and they sprint finish to boot. Wanted every single second of that lifetime best. About 9 seconds faster than last year. Over there, the Ethiopian athlete that he was threatening at one point, but it shows you the fatigue, the damage the marathon does mentally and physically. But he's still going to be rewarded with a time inside 2:08. And that could be sixth place. Just waiting for confirmation of that. There's Hassan, confirmation of his second place finish. Kiptoo, he was delighted as well, pumping the arms to take third place and his place on the podium. And a 2-minute personal best for Kiptoo as well. Kibushi there. Strong finishes when you look down at the overall times. As more of the wheelchair athletes finish, a little conversation, smiles all round. Even though it's hard out there, they know they've all gone through the same journey. They'll be chatting to coaches, to managers, friends and family that have made the journey over. That, I think, is the 10th athlete over the finishing line. 9th place was Timothy Kibet. And 2:09 on the race clock for the elite women. It's the 10th place. Halu Zeldu there, closing out in 2:09.03. So the elite women back at 39 kilometers. So 2 miles of racing to go. Belatu Haopa with the headband. Dira Dida in the red. who has looked fantastic throughout. Her facial expressions have not changed. And just a little look over to get a drink. It looks like a nice selection of pastries there as well. I'd say there was a nice selection of pastries for us commentators this morning, along with some nice coffee to get us ready for what's been a fantastic morning so far in Paris. As Tanui there gets her drink, the last of the elite drink stations. And again, it just could be even a little bit of caffeine in the latter stages, a little bit of sugar on board. And again, just routine. And, some runners will pick up their bottle, even if they don't end up taking too much, just for consistency and almost like a habit to make sure that they've completed in their head their full drink stations. So the elite women's front end, Hope was struggling at one point with a stitch, and that's when Magdalena Shirai was still there as well, but that soon changed. Hope was the one I expected maybe to drop back when she looked like she was grimacing, but now they're still sat on the back of the pacer. Sharasa Shala, the pacer who we expected to go almost a full distance. That is the luxury that the elite women have. As there's the great shot of our top three in the elite men, Hassan, Biwat and Kiptu. And they'll be prepped, ready for presentation. And they'll also be due, I would have thought, at anti-doping as well, part and parcel of any major city marathon. So remember, Judith Jepton's course record, 2:19.48. The time when Judith set that was 2 hours 11 and 41 seconds at the 40-kilometer mark. And last year, the 40-kilometer mark was met in 2:13.22. So coming towards that 40-kilometer mark. The clock's on 2 hours, 12 minutes and 40 seconds.
Tout transpirant. Alors ça va pas être évident parce que Bernard ne parle pas énormément bien l'anglais. On essaye juste, Bernard, just few words. How was it today? Comment c'était aujourd'hui?
Today was good, and I was not expected to win this race. But when we reached, when I reached that 1K, I feel to push, and then when I push, I saw my body move.
Alors je suis très heureux de ma victoire. J'ai essayé de pousser jusqu'au bout, jusqu'à la fin, et je suis très heureux de mon temps aujourd'hui. Did you suffer today? It was tough at the end to the race. Est-ce que c'était difficile à la fin? Est-ce que vous avez vraiment poussé loin dans les limites?
Yeah, it was tough, but I tried to push.
Oui, c'était vraiment très très dur, mais je suis allé jusqu'au bout, j'ai donné jusqu'au bout pour gagner cette victoire aujourd'hui. Thank you very much. Merci. Merci Bernard.
Thank you.
Bernard Biwat, the champion for 2025. As the projected time for the elite women, they've gone through 40 kilometers, 2 hours 13 and 18 seconds, so they've slipped outside course record pace. So projected time 2:20.37. So it would have taken a monumental last 2.2 kilometers in around about 6:20 for them to have broken the record. So it's about the race now. The two athletes that were first and second in Dubai in January are now first and second on the streets of Paris. As Angela Tanui is 23 seconds adrift, and such an experienced runner I don't think she's going to close this. And given the kind of facial expressions and conversation, Harupa there looked very good alongside her compatriot Dida. The two of them have been almost shoulder to shoulder for this whole race. And Dida not finishing in New York, bouncing back to second in Dubai. That is very, very impressive. So third here last year, Dida. Just confirmation of that course record that we will see just slightly drift away from the athletes. So Dida, third place in Dubai last year, first in 2023, second in Dubai this year. From a very good junior cross-country background, a silver medal from the World Junior Championships and a senior world cross-country medalist as well. That was back in Aarhus in Denmark in 2019. And anyone that knows that World Cross is one of the toughest events on the planet. Now coming towards there, the 41 kilometre mark. So 1.1 kilometres of running, and they've gone past that. And I wonder whether Tanui's just gradually closing that gap. But whether it's enough, Tanui is trying to close that gap. Belatu Harupa with the headband. Dida with the red t-shirt on, black shorts. Locked in the focus. Just going onto the shoulder of the pacemaker, whose job has been done. Probably do with maybe the pacemaker just stepping off now, because potentially they could get in the way of this race. And this is a race now. This is a race into the latter stages, so you wouldn't want the pacemaker's shoulders or stride length to impact any of these runners. Dida leading. Hyper there. Onto her shoulder. Now the pacemaker's done exactly that, just stepping away. So Ashashala's job is done. Around about 700 meters to go. And they are shoulder to shoulder. We've seen one fantastic finish already. Julian Casoli pushing away for a 1-second victory in the wheelchair division. And now in the elite women's race, it looks like it's going to come down to a sprint finish again. 500 meters. And Angela Tanui is trying to close that gap. She's not going to quite close it down because our leaders are now 400 meters away. Dida leading. Belatu Harupa going on to her left-hand shoulder. Harupa winner in Dubai, ahead of Dida. Is she going to repeat that again? Are they going to be in the same positions? Dida, first sign of grimace in the whole race. Better to Europa now takes the final turn, 42 kilometers showing into the last 0.2 on Avenue Foch, with the Arch of Triomphe in the background, a wave to the crowd, a signal to the crowd. What a last few months of marathon running for this young athlete. She looks absolutely delighted. Your Schneider Electric Paris Marathon Elite Women's Champion for 2025 from Ethiopia is going to be Benita Europa, and a fantastic performance. 45 seconds. Dida taking second place. And what a month for her as well. A couple of months of recovery between marathons, and look at the energy of Europa there. She barely looks as if she's run a marathon. And a good finish there. Angela Tanui closing out the podium, just over 2:21. Another podium finish. And the finish, Tanui brought the gap down significantly at the end to 21 seconds. Or maybe just outside that, but Shirai there taking fourth place, sorry, just behind the third place finisher, Tanui. She was in third place for a lot of the race as well, just dropping off at the latter stages. But it was an Ethiopian 1-2, Europa and Dida, and there, look at that, signalling to the crowd, looking absolutely ecstatic with the victory. And an electric finish there by Europa, and she looks like someone that's on a winning streak. So find out when her next marathon is, and keep your eyes out, because winning is a habit. And I tell you what, she's got a lovely personality, it seems like. So look forward to them catching a word, I would have thought, with our winner, Dida. Poker face for the whole race until the very latter stages. Tanui, podium finish, strong finish, and I think she'll be happy with that. And the crowds enjoyed this little look. It was 3 seconds in the end. Still one of the closest finishes that we've had in the Schneider Electric Paris Marathon. 48 years of fantastic racing. And as the